Saints. My name is Marianne Ushi.
Hi Saints, my name is Jeffrey.
I am Marianne Auta.
I am Bivan Tessie.
Today we're tackling a topic that resonates with so many of us, especially if you live in Nigeria, Lagos to be precise. Yes, from the rising cost of things in the economy to the unknown state of the economy itself to work and family life pressures, stress from bus conductors. In fact, it's a lot. I'm sure that we all experience stress in one way or the other. But guess what? It is something that we can manage. Hi Saints, my name is Marianne Ushi and this is Catholic Faith Forum. Our topic for today is stress management techniques, and I have just the right person to have this conversation with. But do not go anywhere. You'll be meeting my guests after the break. Stay tuned. Welcome back, Saints. This is Catholic Faith Forum and I am Mary Ann. Today, our topic is stress management techniques. I'm sure that in one way or the other, one day of the week at least, you must be stressed. It's something that's it's just there now. It's just there. We all know. We all know. We all experience it. And so I just thought to myself that, okay, what if we have somebody come on board to tell us how we can actually manage stress? So I have here with me Dr. Jennifer. Okay, thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you so much for having me.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing okay, like you said. Every day we stay stressed.
Please, we hope not to be stressed. But yeah, Dr. Jennifer is a very intelligent doctor. That's why I brought her here. Yeah, she graduated top 3 in her set at College of Medicine, University of Lagos. She's a student of medicine and surgery, as we call it, and currently doing her housemanship in Lagos. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you very much.
All right, so to our conversation. Many people in Nigeria are feeling overwhelmed, you know. There's pressure coming from everywhere. There's the inflation, economic instability, and then even on the family front, you know, family expectations and demands here and there, even from uncles and aunties that you don't even know whether they even knew when they gave birth to you. So how would you define stress? What are the primary stressors that people face today?
Okay, so first and foremost, there's something that you said. You said that at least one day in a week, we'll feel stress. Stress is something that we face every day. So just for a general definition, stress is a physiologic response. And when I say physiologic response, it is a normal response to anything that anyone finds pressuring. Now, this can be good stress or bad stress. So this is why I say that every day we face stress. Now, the question is, are you facing the good stress or are you facing the bad stress? So in terms of how we classify stress, there are various modes by which we can classify stress. But then generally in terms of when we're talking of mental health, like I said, we have the good stress and the bad stress. The good stress is the thing that motivates us. For example, going to medical school, good stress. Good stress. Okay. Going to law school, good stress. Getting married and planning to have a new life, good stress. It's not easy, but it's good stress. Now, bad stress, what we call distress, is things like when you lose, is like when someone loses a family member or loses a friend, someone gets into an accident, falls sick, or things like that. So generally, stress is just a physiologic response to anything that can cause pressure. For example, something happens here and I need to rush out, that's a stress. I'm entering the bus, that's a stress. But then we have the good and the bad. And the aim is to always keep that good high and the bad low. Now, in terms of what stresses, also are the common stressors. So I guess you are talking with regards to the bad stress.
Yes.
If we're starting from Nigeria, Nigeria itself is a stressor. Lagos State specifically is a stressor. We have family, like you said, there's a lot of societal pressure, and then this ranges across various ages. We're talking, there's this common thing that they say that ever since I picked up a pen, and my mom dressed me up to go to school, I've not rested. So children face stress. The people that grow up also face stress. So we have the economy that's the major factor, but then the economy will mainly be viewed from the adults, or at least from the older people point of view. We have health challenges. We've been having a lot of rise in medical conditions recently as a result of the environment and every other contributing factor. Those are common stressors. Family is a common stress, work. So generally, when we say in terms of almost everything can be a common stressor, but some tend to have this more than the other person.
Okay, so what are some of these physical and mental health effects of stress? That's chronic stress now, particularly in the context of the Nigerian lifestyle.
So first and foremost, we're having an increase in diseases like hypertension, diabetes, obesity. We are having people now having a lot more sleep problems, be it as a result of poor sleep quality or poor sleep latency. So a lot of people now having a lot of insomnia, and then this can either be as a result of what they are taking or what they are being subject to. For example, people have to go out to work, wake up by 5 o'clock to beat the traffic, get to work by 8, leave by 5, get back home by 9, cook, do everything. So it's just like also when we're in school, people are now taking stimulants to keep them awake. You have that, but at the same time, you've also disrupted your body's normal process, and hence you're not also able to sleep more. We're now having, because of a lot of things happening, people are not able to eat properly. So we're having the rise in junk. Yeah. So we are now having more of a...
Just grab one.
Yeah, exactly. Get that Coke, get that gal on the road, move on. Just something. We're now having things like obesity, a lot more of metabolic problems, hypertension. And then with the things that, and then people are now also going into compensation for the stress. We're now having a rise in people being alcoholics. We're having a rise in people smoking, people doing drugs, all in effort to combat this stress. And then in the process, we now have more health problems, more liver problems, more kidney problems. So it's just this terrible cycle that keeps on going and going. And then we cannot miss the biggest thing, mental health. Depression, anxiety, they've all been on a rise. And all this can all still be attributed to the background stress that each person is facing at whatever point in time of their lives.
Wow, so many effects actually. So we hear of burnout in the workspace. Do you think that the Nigerian work environment with, long hours and people trying to shuffle multiple jobs just to make ends meet plays a major role in the stress that many of us experience?
Oh, definitely. That is a major thing. So, which is interesting enough because my undergraduate project was on burnout. But then I focused on it in medical students, but I had to do the general review on it. But then yes, because when we say burnout, in as much as it is a term that people commonly use, burnout, and then most times when people use that term burnout, they are actually referring to just one domain of burnout, which is emotional exhaustion. Burnout actually has 3 domains. We have the emotional exhaustion, we have the cynicism, whereby people just get to the point whereby they just don't care anymore. It is whatever happens, anything happens. That is burnout. And then we now have the last part of it because it is a spectrum. People start from the emotional exhaustion. I'm very, very tired. I can't do this anymore. To the cynicism, I don't care anymore. Whatever happens. To the reduced personal accomplishments, which is the third part of burnout, whereby people can't get to be productive anymore. And then our environment contributes to it knowingly and unknowingly. So first and foremost, companies are trying to make ends meet. We're having less employment, reduced staffing, increasing the work of what the average staff is doing. And then you now add it with poor pay in our environment. We're having little breaks. And if you want to even move to the other part of it, they are now cutting into people's leaves. For example, so this is where Lagos tries. Officially, Nigeria gives maternity leaves 12 weeks, takes 6 before you are pregnant, 6 after you are pregnant. But then again, we medical practitioners say that you must exclusively breastfeed for 6 months, preferable. How do you want to exclusively breastfeed when you only have 6 weeks afterwards? Mind you, in the first week, lactation is a bit slow, depending on how many kids.
Okay, hold that thought. We need to go on a quick break. It's time for us to find out who our saint of the week is, so do not go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Saint Cecilia was a noble woman in 2nd and 3rd century Rome, known for her deep faith and devotion to God. From a young age, she vowed to remain a virgin, dedicating her life to Christ. Despite this, her parents arranged her marriage to a pagan nobleman, Valerian. On her wedding day, as musicians played, she sang in her heart to God, a moment that would later make her the patron saint of music. When she revealed her vow to Valerian, he demanded proof. Cecilia told him that if he converted and was baptized, he would see an angel protecting her purity. After receiving baptism from Pope Urban I, Valerian returned and saw a radiant angel who placed crowns of roses and lilies on both of their heads. Inspired, his brother Tiburtius also converted, and together they secretly buried Christian martyrs defying Roman law. Their fate led to their arrest and execution. Cecilia too was captured and ordered to renounce Christianity, but she refused. She was condemned to death in a steam-filled bathhouse, but after a day and night, she emerged unharmed. Furious, the prefect ordered her beheading, but after 3 failed strikes, she was left wounded. She lived for 3 more days, using her final moments to distribute her wealth to the poor and strengthen the faith of others. What a strong woman. When her tomb was opened in 1599, her body was found incorrupt, lying as she had died. Though the exact date of her canonization is unknown, she has been honored since the early church. Today, she is the patron saint of music, musicians, poets, and singers, a symbol of unwavering faith and harmony between devotion and art. Saint Cecilia, pray for us.
Welcome back, Saints. That was our Saint of the Week, and I hope that you learned from the life of the Saint. So back to our conversation before the break, we're talking about burnouts, especially in the workplace, and you were trying to explain the different, let's say, stages now of burnouts, the emotional burnout, cynicism, and reduced personal accomplishment. So yeah, you were also talking about how in the workplace they try to cut our leave days, and then even for pregnant women who have 6 weeks before birth and 6 weeks post birth. Yeah, and then it's not enough because they need 6 months exclusive breastfeeding for their children, according to what you guys recommend. Okay.
So yeah, we have that. And then even the 6 months is not just also for the child, also for the mom. She just went through a very stressful phase. And then you take that having to rush back to work to having to do things at home. I've been in scenarios, or I've seen patients that come to the hospital, they just gave birth to Yadi pounding yam on day 3. What? And then we now later come out and we say that, oh, this woman is stressed. Why wouldn't she be stressed? So all those things there are very inevitable. So like I was saying, Lagos is actually doing well with that, as Lagos actually gives 6 months maternity leave. Better than Nigeria, yeah. Lagos nice. Officially on paper gives government. 6, yes, government. Yeah. Lagos state government gives 6 months on paper. So when we talk about Nigeria, we can follow the path of some states also doing better. And if Lagos can give 6 months in law, why can't Nigeria do that also? So we have the various things. So then we now also have things, so that is women. So that it's not as if we're only talking about the women. The men also, same thing. There is always the pressure of being the provider, and then all that, like you said, multiple jobs coming back. Everything all contributes to the very same thing that we are all trying to avoid. That is, at the long run, the bad stress that can now lead to mental health problems. It's like, I had a patient walking to me, the man's blood pressure was about 160, 120. I'm like, sir, this is very high. He's like, what do you want me to do? I have to work, I have kids, I have my siblings. I'm like, sir, I understand all of that. I really, really do. But what happens when you fall sick? Who gets to do this work that you are doing now when you fall sick? So you get to realize that we get to fight for things, yes, that are necessary. but then forgets the bigger picture. That what happens when this stress gets past the breaking point, and then we now get to face the consequences. The same thing that we are trying to do now, we will not get to do that again. So that's why it's very big and very important that the government, as you said, puts things to curtail all this.
Yeah, because last, if you want to be stressing yourself over work, the moment you drop dead, God forbid, somebody else takes over and the work continues. Yes. I mean, we've seen situations where someone can't even come in. Maybe something just happens and someone can't come in today, and then they go, "Oh, you do this on behalf of this person," and that's it. And the work moves on. So I mean, it's very necessary that we are able to take care of ourselves first. So talking about taking care of ourselves, what are some practical steps that we can use in managing stress?
Yes. So I always tell people that you need to find what makes you happy. One, personal. Two, find the people that make you happy. Because when we talk about people like, okay, I need to take a vacation, not everyone can travel to Seychelles. Not everyone can go to Santorini. But everyone should at least have those people that being around them makes you happy. When I was in medical school, it was me and my girls. When things get tough, we just go into one place and we all start screaming, and then everything just comes back down. Find that thing that makes you happy. Eating healthy is very, very, very important. When we talk about balanced diets, I understand that with the economy, it's a bit tough. Yes, we understand that, but then within your means, try your best to eat healthy. Because I tell people this, we're talking about, okay, yes, there's not enough money, but then by the time you buy that alcohol, by the time you buy that meat pie that's like, 1,000 naira, by the time you buy that drink that is like 500 naira, you might have gotten like rice and meats, like put some carrots, put some cucumbers, eat some fruits within that same budget. So you can also have that. So that there is one thing, eating healthy, trying as best as possible to sleep. Yes, we say at least 7 hours. Now, I know that sometimes that's an impossible feat. Even for me, sometimes I barely get 7 hours of sleep.
Barely, hardly.
But we can try in breaks. You can't sleep 7 hours at a stretch. Take a nap sometime. Then have your longer sleep later. And then exercise. No matter, we're not saying always go to the gym and burn out all the sweat. Little walks, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, it helps. Have that little exercise, because at the end of the day, exercise is not just for keeping fit. With exercise, you are releasing endorphins that make you happy. At the same time, with exercise, you're also it helps to produce this chemical called melatonin that also helps to regulate the sleep cycle. So these here are the little things. Then at the other time, make out time. Family time helps out a lot. It has happened to me a lot of times. When I am overwhelmed, I pack my bags and I go home. Have that. So have the thing that works for you. Something always works for you that is within budget and that is accessible. So don't always go for the highfalutin, if I don't travel to the US, I'm not getting my break. Find that little thing that works for you, and you would see that it works. And when you've gotten to the point whereby you feel that all these things are not working, please get professional help. That's why there are psychiatrists, that's why there are psychologists. Okay. They are there to help. I know that there's a lot of stigma, but put that aside and get help.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Jennifer. It's been a wonderful conversation so far. So there you have it, stress management techniques that you can use. You know, eat well, sleep well, love yourself, find out things that you love to do, find out people that you love to be with, and all of that. Well, let's go on a short break. It's time for our Know Your Faith session. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hi Saints, welcome to a beautiful episode of Know Your Faith. At this point, if you're watching QIF and you're still doubting your catechism, I don't know what you're doing. You make me feel like I'm wasting my time. I'm Jeffrey, your e-catechist. Now today we're tackling an interesting one. How many weeks are in ordinary time? I know you don't know the answer, so watch this video. As usual, we hit the streets to ask people what they think. Now let's hear their responses. Some answers there were great, really. I'm impressed, genuinely. But others were, I don't laugh at anybody, sure. Let's know that I'm judging anybody. We listen, we don't judge, Abby. Let's continue. Ordinary time is the longest season in the Catholic Church's liturgical calendar. It splits into two parts. There's the part 1, from the Monday after the baptism of the Lord to the day before Ash Wednesday. And then there's the part 2, from the Monday after Pentecost to the Saturday before Advent begins. Part 1, part 2. In total, there are 33 or 34 weeks of ordinary time, depending on the year. Why the variation? It depends on the dates of Easter, which affects the number of weeks in the second part of ordinary time. See how awesome Easter is? See the power that it holds. So since ordinary time spans about 33 to 34 weeks, giving us plenty of time to reflect on the life and teachings of Christ, it's a reminder that even in the ordinary, God is doing extraordinary things in our lives. I feel like lying. See you next time, guys. Be bold. Be Catholic.
Thank you very much to our KYF crew for that amazing session. Back to our conversation. So we're talking about techniques for stress management, and then finally you said that if all that you mentioned doesn't work, we should seek help. Now in our country or in our, with our culture, where there's so much stigma with people going to therapy because they feel like, oh, once you start therapy, then there's something wrong with you. How do you think that the cultural attitudes around stress and mental health impact people's ability to seek help?
Oh, it impacts a lot. In fact, the cultural context of Nigeria is one of the most important barriers towards mental health seeking behavior. Studies have proved it. Is what they will teach you in psychiatry, psychology, and then whatnot. And then when you actually reason it, you realize that this cultural stigma starts from home. From when people are very, very small. So kids are young and then they see people roaming on the streets and then, oh, this person is mad. Every mental health problem ranging from depression to schizophrenia is madness. And everyone believes that, okay, for someone that is depressed, for someone that has a bit of bipolar disorder, regardless of how mild and severe it is, once people hear psychiatrist, Yaba left. This person is mad. This person will soon take off their clothes and start running around. And then obviously we are human beings. We thrive off the people around us. In as much as no man is an island. So what the next person to you is thinking is important to you. So all this here serves as barriers towards people seeking mental health first. Then we now have the finances as a second part of it all. Can people afford to pay psychiatrists? Second part. Third part, how many psychiatrists are there? Our psychiatrists, the patient to psychiatrist ratio is one of the lowest across all medical specialties because of the very same reason. In psychiatry posting, our psychiatrists will tell us that, you know, the number of people that have told them that it takes mad people to treat mad people.
So they don't want to be mad.
So people don't even go into psychiatry because of the cultural stigma of, they will say, I'm a mad person too. And then all these things all just still contribute. So we are still back to that same cultural stigmatization. So we can never fully achieve mental health equity unless we actually tackle stigmatization.
Wow. Okay, so you gave us some individual techniques that we could use to manage stress. How do you think the society can come in helping individuals actually reduce their stress levels?
So when I think of society, I think of it in terms of three cadres. I think of family,
Yeah.
I think of the environment, and I think of the government. The environment includes the workplaces, people at church, people at mosques, people at school, friends, that's that. Now from the family, once someone knows that I am a source of support to you, a family member, regardless of son, father, whoever, they know that I find support in my family. If something is going wrong, I can talk to my dad. If something is going wrong, I can talk to my sibling. When something goes wrong, you will talk to that person. When people say, oh, a problem sheds, a problem half solved, yes, it works because you get to hear a different insights. Because that person that you are talking to may not be able to help you, but that person may know someone that can help you. And in that way, we are able to combat stress to a good extent. We look at society, we're talking about leaves. We're talking about promoting good and enabling cultures and environments within schools, within our churches, within our workplaces. We have that. And then when we move over to the government actually has a lot to do. And then our government, Nigeria, we've not really done so well because it's so funny that Nigeria had been running on the mental health bill called the Lunacy Act that was proposed in the 1910s, revised in like the 1950s. And for over 50 years, psychiatrists and other mental health professionals have been pushing to revise a new mental health bill. Because with the previous Lunacy Act, every person, we have this thing with voluntary confinement, involuntary confinement. So you suspect that somebody might not be so good on the streets, carry the person, lock the person, throw the person up into an asylum. And then we've had the thing of, oh, people that commit suicide, you pay fine, you go to jail.
When these people actually need help.
So when we're talking about bills, so yes, a mental health law has just been recently passed in Nigeria. But then in Nigeria, we deal with things on paper, different things in reality. Bridging that gap, a major thing. So we're looking at what are the common stressors we are facing. Economic challenges, let's do things. Okay, let us even keep economic challenges aside. Electricity. We're talking about productivity. We're talking about things that just let's enable our environment to reduce stressors as best as possible. The government can come in there. Health insurance is not talked about a lot, but it's something that can go a long way because people come to the hospital, someone has had a lump for 5 years. It has been stressing her. People, they've been accusing her in her house that she's a witch. And then you're like, why didn't you come to the hospital? And then she's like, come to the hospital to pay what bill? I can barely eat. You're telling me to pay hospital bill. Health insurance. And then taking health insurance to be wide enough to cover mental health insurance. Because the truth is that when we get to the particular point when psychotherapy is not enough and we have to go to drugs, drugs are expensive. Insurance will help in this place. So the government has a lot of things to do to actually in us enabling our environment.
Okay, thank you so much. So just finally, what is one step that people can take today, starting today, to actually manage stress? Just one step.
I'll say don't do it alone. Don't do it alone. Okay. Find your person, speak up. Regardless of whoever it is, find that person, speak up, take action. Let's not wait till things get so far. Let's not wait to the point where you require an hospital admission. Let's not wait to the point where someone, in worst cases, drops dead. Speak up as early as possible. And for the rest of us that are not facing as much stress, let's be our brother's keeper. And then let's ensure that the person next to you has a safe environment. Because in turn, you will get a safe environment too. So that's all I'll say.
Okay, thank you so much. So you've heard it. Don't do it alone. Always share. You say a problem shared is a problem half solved or even solved sometimes. Sometimes we're talking with friends and family about how the country is stressing us. Those conversations are actually good because, in those conversations, you get to see that, oh, other people are going through these things. And then you get to cheer yourself up and just find a way to deal with it at that point in time. So don't do it alone. Get help. And then also, let's be our brother's keepers. Let's give love in the workplace, at church, at school. Always try to give love so that even if somebody is going through 1,000 things, the love that you're giving to them can make up for whatever it is that they're going through. So thank you so much, Dr. Jennifer. It's been an amazing session with you. Thank you for coming. And we really appreciate it. So guys, if you have any questions whatsoever, if you want to talk to somebody, if you have anything that you want us to address, please just do well to give us a message either in our comment section on YouTube at Dominican Media or via our DMs on social media at CFF on TV. Please, we really want to hear from you, and if you loved this conversation, do well to like and also share this video to your friends and family. I am Marianne Ushi. Catch me on Instagram at _Marianne Ushi, and until next time, keep being saints in jeans and shirts. Bye. Ciao. Ciao, ciao. I'm sure you thought I was wrapping up. Ha ha ha, I wasn't wrapping up.
Almost.
Yeah, so now this is the last part. No, please wait. We're still in number 3 question. Let me.